Hey y'all, recording this video to share a dream that I had last night. And God made sure I knew that it was fairly important that this dream be shared, so here I go. I was in the military, but I was in the process of being cycled out or leaving service. Was kind of the position where I was at, and I was with two other soldiers as well. One of them was in charge, and the other one was like he was a peer or whatever. But we were traveling at this point in time, and we'd been staying in hotels. Now the one guy who was a peer, he was cool. Like he was really good at his job, always doing what's right, and he was very respectable. But he always kind of kept to himself. He didn't ever really speak out against anything. He just kind of observed, and that was his nature. And then the other guy was the one who was in charge, and he was the type of dude that would enforce rules arbitrarily, unnecessarily, try to use these rules to get his foot in the door, and be kind of too involved in a person's life, kind of person that would enforce rules just to get a pat on the head, not because they were right, but just because they were the rules, and he wanted to be told that he'd done good, that kind of a person. So we were traveling around and kind of working through this process. Well, at some point, a person came to the door. It ended up being another soldier who was also extremely well respected based on their talents and merits of what they'd done. But he delivered me a foot-long sandwich with a note. Why, I don't know, but the note that was delivered with the foot-long sandwich said, we've seen what you've been doing. We've seen what you're about. We believe in the same type of stuff. And we agree with the ideas and approach that you've taken. Come to this place. So the next morning, I get up and I leave early, and I drive myself to where they say to go. And the next place I am is a parking garage. And I'm looking for a parking space. But I realized I left so early, I had forgotten to actually pack my uniform and stuff like that. So I reach out to one of that guy I was traveling with, the peer, who was really cool but never really intervened on anything. I said, "Hey, can you please bring with you my stuff that I need for today so that I can be in the right uniform? I don't want to be getting in trouble." So, and then I find my parking spot, I park, and I make my way to the inside of the place we're at, and it's a stadium, stadium seating where they're going climbing up like that. And so I go to my seat, which is probably about 3/4 of the way up. The types of seats you normally wouldn't even pay for unless you were just kind of going to have fun and experience something. Maybe you call them the cheap seats. Not whatever. But I sit down and I realize that all of us in the stands are facing the wrong way. We're facing the opposite direction, not looking towards the field, which was kind of strange. But I look down and I look at the field, and there's, all sorts of people actually on the field too. Some of them are sitting in folding chairs, and some of them are even on their hands and knees. They're this is the position they've taken up. I'm like, this is pretty strange. I look around at some people that are in the stands, and I notice a couple pairings of people who are sitting near each other, they're intentionally near each other, have rodent-like features. Not straight up a rat nose or rat ears or something like that, but features that were, if you were looking for it, you'd be like, wow, that's kind of rat-like. And they're together, so they meant to sit together, they were planted, or there was a reason that they were there. So all of a sudden, these things something starts happening, where the people in charge or the people in authority are they're starting buzzers, and the people on the field, the lowest level people, start passing along these bowls filled with metal and hydrochloric acid, like cereal and milk, like that style design. And as they're passing it, they're shoveling the metal into their mouth, the hydrochloric acid is helping them swallow it faster, chowing it down. And then they're and pass it along, and they kept passing it like they were at a dinner table of some sort. And sometimes the people in charge would be like, "No, pass it back." And they're going back and forth and passing along so fast. There was one guy that was it was going so fast for him, he got frustrated. He was trying to make it to his mouth, and it was he had to pass it. And he was trying to appease these people in authority, trying to stomach this metal. Bleh. And so they're passing it along, and it's presumably going to make its way all the way through all the stands or whatever. I never quite got to that point. I never even made it up to like where I was sitting. But I looked back at some point in time, and I realized the people that were down on the field who were the first ones to stomach the crap, they were dead. Their skin, it was pale, like completely white, like chalk white, and their eyes were blacked, like blacked out. And it wasn't the metal. I knew that it wasn't the metal that had caused them to get sick and die. It was the, it was the acid, but it was more like the idea of like the underlying stuff of what they were doing, like kind of it rotted them from the inside, and that was like the manner of their death. And so it's important. I think a lot of what the dream was talking about, there's a lot going on in the government right now. And they're looking, they're asking people to take a severance. A very nice severance is what it sounds like they're asking you to take. But I want to first encourage, hey, if you work for the government, don't just take it. If you know you're in the right place, if you know that you're someone who stands up for what's correct, for justice, for truth, don't take that severance. That's not for you. Your position is in the government. Unless God tells you otherwise, think long and hard about taking that, because they're dangling something in front of you. They're dangling something. They're keeping you hungry and then hanging a piece of food in front of you, a foot-long sandwich, and saying, God dang it, this has all the meat, cheese, mustard that you could possibly get from us. In fact, you want some extra mustard? I got some spicy mustard over here too. Put that on top. Don't fall for it. If you're upright, if you know that you're supposed to be there, that you belong there, that you're going to do good for the government, for our nation, stay where you're at. And there's some of you out there that know that severance is the best. It's the best idea for you. Take it. What an awesome package. Take it and peace out and go enjoy some time. Do whatever you're going to do with it. So, yeah, there's going to be some big swings coming up here. The turnaround from the changes that are happening in government and this cleaning out and all this kind of stuff, just stand firm. Know that God has your back. He's going to put you in a position, and that when you're standing up for what's right and what's true, you're never going to end up wrong. God will always carry you through. Don't forget that. So, God bless you. Feel free to ask any questions that you want about this dream. There's plenty of crazy stuff. And, there's always things that you forget to share in the video as well. I'm an open book. I hope I'm reading well. God bless you.